Welcome to another stream. Hellenes, hello. Um, Today is going to be a very exciting day. We're starting in Athens, where we were yesterday. I know it was a surprise. I didn't think I'd get so much shock from people that I decided to stream when unadvertised. Hello, hello, Yippee Skippy. Um, so what we did yesterday was look and tour around the Parthenon. So I'll upload the VOD, but you can also find the VOD on Twitch. Um, I will upload the video to YouTube because it is pretty important if you do care about architectural marvels, and we will go through it today because I know a lot of people missed it. But we'll do a kind of quick version. That said, yesterday was a lot of reading, so if you missed that, uh, it's probably it might have been for the best. But we did explore the rest of this Acropolis. Today we're going to take a look at the places most involved in the First Peloponnesian War. So we're going to leave Athens. We're going to hit up a couple waypoints on the journey. We're I think going to go out here to this place. We're going to check out the long walls that were constructed just during the First Peloponnesian War, just before it. Then we're going to head to Megara and Corinth. But before that, we must, of course, ritually sacrifice Cinder's play toy. Sing, or, sing, goddess, wisdom through my lips, so that I and my viewers may learn something today from the past that may help us towards the present. Goodbye. And there, Cinder is on the scene. Cinder, like the gods, eats the desiccated discards of the sacrificial animals. So let's synchronize real quick. Check it out. Light rain here in Hellas today. Uh, Slightly overcast skies coming in from the Saronic Gulf, but for the most part, it does seem to be relatively bright and sunny. Benamise is here. Hello. Uh, Good to have you chatting. Um, got your uh, subscriber pin. So here we're gonna head. Oh, I'm sorry. I promised you a view of the Acropolis. So let's do a little recap of what we did yesterday. Here's Athena Promachos. That means Athena of the front lines. She's big. She's tall. She's awesome. What I love about her is that she can be seen forever, for miles. She's wearing a full bronze and gold cape and raiment, along with a huge bronze shield. And imagine the sun glinting off of this. You could see it from the edge of the Saronic Gulf out here. So she is facing this way, and sailors from this entire area could see the way to Athens from Athena. So it's kind of like, at least on sunny days, a lighthouse. Um, so there's a lot of other statuary up here, up top. There's a number of temples. There's the Erechtheion, which is, this very ominous. Love the weather. The Erechtheion is dedicated to Poseidon. Here we have the Caryatid Porch, which it's actually one of the most famous sites of the Acropolis today. Um, so these are what they look like today. They're actually remarkably well preserved. But again, I won't go too deep into this. Here, let's see. Here's what the colonnades look like. This, I believe, is this Zeus? No, this is Poseidon. Sorry, I didn't see that that trident. I was looking at it from the front, not the side, so I couldn't tell. That is totally my B. But this is the Erechtheion I was telling you about. So, as we've known, I think Yippee Skippy, you've commented on this. They've told this myth a million times, but Poseidon and Athena, they competed over who would be the patron god of Athens. Athena gave the Athenians an olive tree. Poseidon gave them a salty spring. And the Athenians were like, definitely olive oil better than salt water. You're giving us tears here, homeboy. So they went with Athena, hence the name. But then later, when Athens became a naval power, they kind of revived Poseidon's worship in Athens. Assassin Annie, you are just like, once again, true hero here. You're basically paying my salary. But thank you so much. And I know that Yippee Skippy is really going to appreciate that subscription. Um, he's been commenting about needing the emote ability in school. So here's the bounty, right? Athens is the hegemon of the Delian League, then becomes the Athenian Empire. This is a treasury, which it would probably be a bit more organized than this. Um, but we would have both arms and armor from fallen enemies. But we're also going to have all of the loot, I should say tribute, given from the Athenian allies. So all of those member states of the Delian League, they were required to give either ships or silver. And by the 450s, there were only 3 polis that were providing ships with men. These were Chios, Samos, and Lesbos. Those are the major islands in the Aegean: Chios, Samos, Lesbos up here. And we could see these. I do wonder when that would fit, but we might see. Actually, Samos is gonna come up soon because Samos does rebel against the Athenians in 441. That's what we're gonna get to next time. Spoiler alert. Um, but besides that, every other polis was giving Athens silver, or a similarly precious metal, so silver or gold, and Athens was turning it into coinage. So that's what we just saw in the treasury. Here is Athena Polios, and I will let us actually read this
The
again.
Parthenon's inner chamber, or cella, contained a massive statue of Athena that was considered to be one of the sculptor Phidias's greatest masterpieces. The statue was chryselephantine, a combination of gold and ivory. To justify the steep cost of its construction, Pericles told Athenians that the statue was a gold reserve, which could be disassembled in times of economic distress. The cella also allegedly contained a pool, whose main purpose was to control the room's humidity, which helped preserve the statue's ivory.
Yesterday is this little homegirl we have. So on wow, I really was not paying close enough attention. This is, as I said yesterday, one of the coolest statues, or like models in the entire game, I think. But can anyone in chat tell me who Athena's little helpmate like this is? I believe. Oh, and this also looks to be made of chryselephantine, which is that ivory marble, or maybe this just sorry, ivory gold. Uh, it looks like an angel. Yeah, so I think it's Nike. Um, Nike is the goddess of victory, and is typically portrayed with wings, and flies around, giving victory to people who Athena blesses with strategic cunning. Um, so this is the center of the Parthenon. I love it. And as they mentioned, this gold breastplate was, I think, worth 40 talents. Who knows what that converts to? I think a talent is something like, imagine a few $1,000,000. So we're talking hundreds of millions of dollars, just in case um, Athens ever found itself in trouble. And it did. And towards the end of the Peloponnesian War, I do believe that they did melt down Athena's raiment, which is pretty sad. But yeah, the costs of war are the main outlay of early states. Now we have this whole state apparatus that is, as Benamis uh, knows from today's discussion in class, we were talking about the outlays of the state today, and it's become a lot more social program heavy versus war. Which honestly, I'm pretty happy. If we're gonna spend tax money, I'd rather redistribute it to the citizens than spend it on killing people. But such is the nature of interstate relationships, that war is always on the table. So that's not the most elegant way to get down from the Acropolis. Probably not the way that they suggest to tourists, but it is the fastest way. Here we have, I forget what this woman's, I think this is Deimos. So if you've played the actual Assassin's Creed, I believe the character we're playing here is the evil sister of the, oh, here's another little Athena garden. Cool. Poppies, looks like. Maybe. Nah, I don't I don't think it's very it's good manners to use my horse in sacred sanctuaries like the Acropolis. I do try to only use my horse in places that it is appropriate, right? I am very bike friendly, pedestrian friendly, and I want to respect the laws of the road. This is a pedestrian friendly city here, ancient Athens. Oh, we got some models of well, some models of owls, or let's just call them birds. This looks to be like a little shop or warehouse. We've got a number of different things, scarves or other textiles, rugs, cushions, and little tchotchkes. Little tchotchke shop. Here's another rug merchant on the other side. I love these painted statues. So we're getting pretty close to the Agora. I always say Agora. Oh, we've got our garbage men, right? So pigs will eat any of the refuse. That's why it's not. Uh, that's right. My horse does cushion the landing. Um, the pigs are, yeah, not kosher because they're just eating trash all the time in ancient societies. So here we're in the Agora. Let's see what this last piece is. A long time ago, we looked at the Agora. And sorry, I pronounced it the American way, not the ancient Greek way, Agora. And we got through most of it, right? Lots of different traders. They have cool different regulators. They've got the metronomoi who regulate balance and or sorry weights and measurements. So balance kind of, and also are looking for counterfeit coins. Here we have the Stoa of Zeus. And here is the head of Zeus, Eleutherios. Eleuthera. I don't know what that means. The Stoa of Zeus Eleutherios stood out because of its architecture. It followed the form of most civic buildings, but with the addition of two projecting wings on either side. On top of these wings were Acroterion of Nike, the goddess of victory. So, okay, so Acroterion is, I think, the singular form of the word. Acroteria would be plural, so that's why I kind of got stuck there. Um, so we're Acroterion of Nike. So let's actually check that out real quick. Let's see what he's talking about. Um, do they have them? I don't see any Acroteria of Nike. That said, I also don't know what Acroterion means. The word metronome, yeah, so metro, meter, right, literally means like measure. So it's about measurement. The meter is the basic measurement of distance, but also kind of like the basic, which is, I guess, maybe by some considered to be the basic form of measurement. Um, the cult of Zeus Eleutherios, or the Zeus of Freedom, was established after the Battle of Plataea in 479 BC, the Greek victory that ended the Second Persian invasion. The Stoa was built in the latter half of the 5th century. So we've seen a lot of memorials to the defeat of the Persians because it was by far the most climactic thing that had ever happened in Greek history up until that point. So Zeus of Freedom, and they were fighting for defense of their homeland. They were fighting for liberty. They were fighting not to be subjugated by an Eastern potentate, an Eastern empire, the evil overlord who had dominated all of Asia. According to Pausanias, the shields of those who died fighting for the liberty of Athens were prominently displayed on the monument. So let's see how well they do. It's worth noting that, of course, this Discovery Tour was made after this game had come out, right? So this Stoa, I imagine, is in the actual game, but the maybe is this an Acroterion? I don't think so. Um, but the extra bit of research and archaeological context was going to have been put in, so we've got no Acroteria. That said, Acro means high, so I imagine Acroteria are just like winged Nikes who look awesome. Shayla, thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in class tomorrow. Let's see, where do I want to go next? So we finished this. Let's go down here. We're going to check out the long walls, and then we'll make our way along the coast to Megara. Can anyone tell me in the chat what role Megara played in the first Peloponnesian War? Extra credit here. Haha, now I'm really turning this into class. So here is a temple. It looks like this is an altar where sacrifices would have been made. It It was, yeah. So it's the entrance and exit. So this is the Temple of Hephaestus, which we've seen before with Athena here. Athena, I forget. I always forget. Uh, oh, it's Ergane. Athena Ergane is the goddess of craft. So this is kind of like a little craft fair. Yeah, so Megara is the is was part of the Peloponnesian League. It's the furthest north outpost of the Peloponnesian League, right? So once again, let's check it out. Check it out. It's at the mouth of the Isthmus of Corinth, right here. So in 457, I think. Is that it? It might have been earlier. I have 457 in my mind. But they switched sides. They left the Peloponnesian League because Corinth was being a bad. They were being inhospitable and kind of boxing them out of trade in the Gulf of Corinth, right? And Corinth is obviously more important and richer because all of these things are named. Isthmus of Corinth, Gulf of Corinth, right? They got naming rights because they were bigger and stronger. But they were forcing Megarian merchants. Ooh, marble workshop. Where are we going for this? Their protector was Athena Ergane, as I just said. So here's the workshop. We're building some statues here. Um, so Corinth was not, as we've mentioned before, the Peloponnesian League has Sparta in the center, right? These are bilateral alliances. Sparta and Corinth and Megara, even though they're both part of the Peloponnesian League, are not necessarily allies with one another. And this got them into trouble because a trade rivalry, a trade dispute, led to Megara leaving the alliance and joining Athens' side. So this will show you later on. Sparta has to become much more aware of what its um, subject polis want. The pirate island is called Aegina, and they are both on the Saronic Gulf. Um, let's see, am I going the right way? I should stop using this and let's take a look at the geography. So over here are the long walls, right? Here's the city of Athens, and these are the long walls that are connecting it to the Piraeus. We've talked about these. Um, I also want to say the long walls were started in 457. So just skip all the chronology. I do apologize. This is all happening within a 15-year period, but I can't be trusted with the dates if I don't have them right in front of my face. And I don't want to have them right in front of my face because it takes my attention away from this game. It's hard to juggle all these things. All right, so let's ascend these slopes. Where was I? So yeah, so Sparta is not doing a very good job of acting as an intermediary between its allies. They're not having a ton of Peloponnesian League meetings, and so Megara and Corinth enter essentially into open warfare, and that drags the whole Greek world into this. Athens brings their allies in. Sparta's allies get involved, but Sparta itself only gets involved towards the very end. And this has the effect of kind of showing how wars between Athens and Sparta are going to start. It's not Athens saying, Sparta, screw you. Sparta's quite conservative. Like, they're super happy to hang out in their half of the Peloponnesus. Um, but it is going to be one of Athens' allies or one of Sparta's allies getting into a fight with another one of their allies that is going to lead to conflict. And this is why the 30 Years Peace that we ended with last class, um, it talks about allies of one subject states of one league cannot switch sides, uh, but it does allow for neutral states to switch sides, and we're going to see how that gets around the clause and ends up causing conflict in the future. The dispute was very likely trade related, right? They're both trading in this area. Megara is going to be smaller. Why Megara is so important is they've got I forget, one of these is called, I think this is called Pegae, and this is just regular Megara. And so they control, especially once Athens builds long walls between that connect both sides of the Isthmus of Corinth. Megara controls the mouth of the Isthmus of Corinth. All right, but let's check this out first. Oh, perfect. Oh, I'm so glad that this is like the only time I've ever stumbled across these unidentified points of interest, and it's been what I'm talking about and what I need to show up. Um, if I do this in the future, if I ever teach an ancient Greece class in the future, it'll be very nice to have everything identified so I can go back. But there's also lose a little bit of the fun of that. The Themistoclean walls were built out of slabs of stone connected by iron bolts and fixed with molten lead. Thucydides noted that it was easy to see that they were built in a hurry in the face of opposition. So the Themistoclean walls are around Athens itself. Excuse me. Um, these are built after the Persians destroyed the original Athenian walls, and this is, as you guys may remember, Themistocles goes down to Sparta. Sparta's like, hey, don't rebuild your walls. In fact, let's tear everyone's walls down um, so that we're all on equal footing. It's, as Sam pointed out in class, it's why we don't want missile defenses, is so that we can each nuke each other, which is kind of silly because if but it also makes sense if both sides can nuke each other, then no one's going to nuke the other one, right? It keeps you at a stalemate. Same thing with walls, and so that those are the Themistoclean walls because Themistocles is down, stalling for time, um, while everyone else hurries to like bootstrap these new walls out of any stone that they can find. However, the long walls were meant to protect Athens in a different manner than a regular wall of the time, since they connected the city with its two main harbors. Right, first we have these two long walls that connect them to Piraeus, and then we have a third wall that encompasses all of Phalerum. Um, these long walls isolated Athens from the mainland, and, as long as they had a navy, the most powerful one in the entire Greek world, it was technically impossible to starve Athens into submission. And that's the main way that sieges were won, was by starvation after a very long time. The very existence of these walls made possible the whole strategy of Pericles during the Peloponnesian War, which was to endure the Spartan invasions in the territory and to launch counterattacks by landing troops wherever Sparta and her allies were vulnerable, gradually weakening them. The walls were about 6 kilometers long, and they were enforced with towers and ditches. So yeah, super hardcore. You guys should think about building your own set of long walls in class for your polis. That will make you pretty pretty much uh, pretty indefeatable. Um, pretty defensible. Why did I zoom out? There's a reason. Something I wanted to show you. But anyway, so the long walls are here, and then there's our other walls here that connect Phaleron. Um, and I'm totally blanking. Sorry about that. There was, yeah, I'll see if I remember. Anyway, at this point, I think it is time to summon my horse and head over to Megara. But first, I'm going to meditate. We're gonna wait till it's cowardly. What does cowardly mean when it comes to war? If you can prevent your population from being starved, if you can prevent your population from dying, from being killed, uh, the saying goes, all is fair in love and war, and it's kind of true, right? Cowardly means survival, and and it's a completely new form of warfare, right? The Greeks, what is this, right, that we're looking at? Okay, so this is Phaleron, right? Here's an awesome view of a trireme, and this is going to be one of the two harbors. I do believe that this is going to be one of the commercial harbors, where the military harbor, there's one commercial harbor, it's the biggest one, but then the military harbors are on the other side. Yeah, so that was a huge problem. Is that so? The Themistocles or the Periclean strategy under Pericles was, in case of war against the pretty pretty powerful Spartan um, ground force, is that they just sit behind their walls, because the Spartans were terrible at siege warfare. Like, not only were they bad, they were like remarkably bad. Are we on a road right now? Oh boy, how do I? This could be difficult. So, I have terrible sense of direction, and this is going to be one of those times that it really comes to bite me in the butt. I'm trying to thread the needle to get over to Megara. Um, what was I just saying? Oh yeah. So during the Peloponnesian War, Pericles has the entire population of Athens hide behind the walls, including the hoplite class and all these men who are itching to fight in defense of their homeland. As we can see, oh, this is the sanctuary of Eleusis again. But as we can see, there's a lot of farmland from Eleusis. I have to go north and then west. All right. And then once I get on the road, it'll be good. So there's a lot of beautiful areas here. There's a lot of crops. These could be vineyards and olive orchards and lots of fields of grain that are just getting destroyed by the Spartan army. This is once again the Eleusis Telesterion. This is where the greater greater and lesser Eleusinian mysteries take place, where people drink a hallucinogenic potion and die and are then reborn. Sounds like a pretty awesome holiday and festival there. But as the Spartans and their allies are just torching this, all these hot-blooded Athenian men are like, "Yo, let me at them." I will not reveal identities on stream, but they can, or they can tell you tomorrow in class. Let's see. Oh, we want to go back and west. So you see, we're going to really thread this needle, and this is why Megara is so critical to the survival of Athens, because this mountain pass is pretty treacherous, and there's only one route in for an army to take. Here we have a Herm. So this is a waypoint. Normally you only get the bust of Hermes, but here we have the entire, we have the whole body with his caduceus. And so now while we follow the road, we're going to take this bird up. So this is Eleusis, and these are the mountains. Just going to ride down Traveler. Ooh, 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 what is this? What is this? Excuse me, horse. This is cool. Kerkion Wrestling Ground. Can you tell me what this is? It was on the road from Eleusis to Megara that Kerkion forced travelers to wrestle, killing those he defeated. In consequence, he was violently put to death by Theseus. So as we've talked about before, Theseus had a bunch of kind of like his own set of Herculean labors, where he had to kill a bunch of people and do hard things. And so Athens was like, oh yeah, our founding king's cool too. And one of them was, I guess Kerkion would kill people who lost to him in wrestling. Oh my god. Hold up. Sorry, there's just like too many cool things, and there's no waypoints here. There's no, I guess they didn't want to write their 3-paragraph essays, which I totally get. But Tomb of Etiocles, cool. And then here we have a crypt in the back. It looks like another tomb. I wish I could move this. Is that a snake? Some very cool pillars going on. So I don't know who Etiocles is, but if anyone in chat wants to either tell me about who Etiocles is or write something about him, oh, it's drafty. Don't worry about it. Then you will get extra credit, or I guess there's no such thing as extra credit, just more credit, right? This class is all cumulative. Here's another tomb. So again, these are the tombs of the Bronze Age. So Bronze Age kings and heroes would be buried in these. I don't know if they're quite tumuli, but they're similar. So, but they're carved into cliff sides. And I wonder if this is like Menelaus' tomb. This is still the tomb of Etiocles. Etiocles was a king of Thebes, son of Oedipus and either Jocasta or Gorgonea. The name is from the earlier blah blah blah, means truly glorious. Tawagalawas is thought to be the Hittite rendition of the name. That's cool. Thank you so much, Yippee Skippy. Full engagement for the stream. We'll figure out some ways to reward you for your diligence. Yeah, so Etiocles, I believe it sounds like he sounds like one of the people who shows up in Antigone, like maybe the brother of Polynices who kills him, something like that. Then again, I haven't read Antigone in a very long time. Son of Oedipus, yeah, son of Oedipus and Oedipus' mom. So probably had some similar tragic ending. So see how narrow this pass is? If this is anything like what it is in real life, this is just another Thermopylae. And I'm honestly surprised, I would be surprised if Athens didn't build a fort here. let's go up to this area up top. Here's a ruin. What I love about ancient Greece and the way they portray it is that there are still ruins all across the land. The tomb of the Amazons, this diamond-shaped tomb depicts the Amazonian shield, is dedicated to the queen of Amazons, Hippolyta, who was defeated by Theseus and died of grief. Another Amazon queen was Penthesilea, and that's got to be one of my favorite names all time. All right, I think I'm just going to jump right off here. So, Tomb of the Amazons. Very cool. They might light a brazier up there. Beautiful tree. And yeah, we're just going to take the shortcut, bypass this long and winding road. But yeah, I would definitely expect either Megara or Athens to build a fort here. It would make sense. And so here is our approach to Megara. And isn't that interesting? It looks like there is a temple with the Athenian owl on it, which would say that Megara is part of the Delian League. That said, this takes place in 431, and Megara is firmly in. Okay, you can see all these people freaking out about my horse, so I'm going to dismount. Don't want to be a menace to society, but let's take a scan real quick. There are very few points of interest, so I'm going to do my best to. Oh, here we go. Here's the Lacedaemonian Lambda. I'm going to do my best to kind of narrate what we see at this point. I do have some sense of how these ancient cities work. That said, I'm not the best. That would be cool to be caught by my horse. I'm not going to be the best tour guide, but I've been a guide before, so let's see what we can do. So this is going to be the main shrine, the Temple of Apollo, in Megara. Here we have him wrestling Python. That's one of the main ways that Assassin's Creed demonstrates that it is Apollo. Here we have, it looks like a guy on a horse, some cool black colored amphorae. Here's a woman, oh, she's cleaning. Cool. There's a lot of flowers around. It looks like the top of this temple is going to be our viewpoint. There's another statue of Apollo. Is this? Yes. So here we have another angel, but maybe, how about we call her Nike? We'll call her Nike. Yeah. So here we can see Megara is on the coast to the south, but then it's going to continue within its walls, well, within the long walls, which I don't think are depicted here. It's going to continue to the other. Oh, nope. Sorry, misclicked. We're going to do this once again. Beautiful city of Megara. And so I want to investigate what this Athenian draped temple is on the over here. Yes, we're gonna make our way there that way. We're gonna dive. Oh, you were supposed to jump into this thing of rose petals, but you didn't. Instead, you broke your ankle. So we'll be limping around a little bit. Here's a bull. We've got some statues. This is the altar where this is actually one of the bigger altars we've seen. So we've got a bull. This denotes what's going to be sacrificed here. An interesting thing we learned yesterday is that the sacrificial animals were raised to be sacrificed. These were not work animals, and so they actually had a prohibition against using or against sacrificing animals that had been that were working on farms or carrying, porting wagons or any other sorts of labor. Those were not to be sacrificed, which is interesting because that means that Greeks were not in the habit of eating the animals that they worked, and instead that also means that their meat came from a relatively public supply. At least in Sparta, the kings were responsible for most of the sacrifices, which means that they're responsible for a lot of the meat consumption of the Spartan society. That said, Spartans were so rich that they were getting meat in a bunch of other ways too. So I didn't mention this when we were there. I was too busy talking about meat and sacrificial animals. But on the other side of this, where we just were, was a place of business, right? We've got colonnades where people can, you kind of have the forerunners of offices. We'll just check it out one more time. Right, so this colonnade is a place where business can be done, leisure can be taken. People are just hanging out on benches. So it's a public area, but also one of with some practical value. This looks to be a house. This is going to be a multi-generational house, as most houses were back then. You've got a whole courtyard area, different buildings, different aspects of the house. The Greeks and most societies are far more communal than we are today with single-family homes. Single-family homes are a real aberration in history, and instead you're going to get these much closer knit quarters. Um, Beautiful porch. I love the design. This is a leader's house. Okay, so this is going to be one of the bigger, if not the biggest house in the city. Many different rooms for different functions. You're going to have whole families as well as hangers-on living there. So if you imagine the most powerful people, right? We've talked about the patron-client relationships that these Greek nobles would have, and you can imagine. I mean, think of like you see these in like I don't know. I honestly don't even know what kind of TV is out there nowadays. But like anytime there are rich people portrayed on television, there's just like a bazillion other people in their house. You've got a whole entourage. You've got a whole crew with you. Your friends, your family, the people you grew up with, um, all sorts of people. And that's kind of like what these leader houses are gonna be like. They're gonna be filled by the people you like, that you care about, your friends, people who you don't really like who still hang out there and are maybe important. This is a tomb that looks like it's been converted into a scribery. That's not a word. A scriptorium. Um, so it looks like some business is being done here. I'm bringing a torch into a room full of scrolls. That's why this woman and dog are following me. They think I'm an arson. Ah, dog's just hanging out. Um, all right, so we have probably more tombs. Let's take a look at what this hillside looks like from above. Yeah, so this is so weird to me. This looks like what we've seen in other areas of temples and sacred areas where, especially in the non, uh, the non, um, like polis places. So the more sacred areas like Delphi and Olympia, we have these um, pediments, these steps. Okay, so this is a sanctuary of Athena. It was built on the Acropolis. Inside were 3 temples dedicated to worshiping her. So kind of like what I was saying, of these sacred areas. Here's Hermes, and here are a couple statues of Athena. And these temples, these small temples, are called treasuries in Delphi and um, in Olympia. And this is where the different polis would leave offerings. So maybe it's similar to this. Megara is leaving offerings directly to Athena. Militarized Temple of Megara. I wonder what that means. A militarized temple. So you could imagine different. These temples may have been dedicated by different people, different citizens. Here we have the Spartan Lambda, making sure that we know that Megara is part of the Peloponnesian League. But here we have this weird thing about, um, you know, this. Oh, I got it. So this is completely my bad. This is me being narrow-minded. Um, this is the owl of Athena. Duh. It's not the owl of Athens. And because Athens and Athena are so interwoven, and Athens puts all of Athena's stuff all over their coins and their city, I was just like, oh, it's Athens. And this is essentially what the Delian League um, flags look like. But this isn't the Delian League. This is slightly different. And I think maybe the Delian League has a circle around the owl to denote that it is a political rather than a religious symbol. So anything else we want to see up here? It looks like this is the top. So this is the Acropolis of Megra. It is actually outside of the walls, it looks like, though. It has walls on this side, a moat, and then these steep cliffs on the other. All right, so let's head back through Megara. Ooh, what is this? This is cool. Okay, so yeah, so I think what we'll do is we'll go back through there, we'll leave Megara, and we'll go along this path west, and we'll get to the other side of Megara, where I think the port of Pegae is. All right, so let's hop off here. Is what Zeus? Um, I'm not sure what you're referring to. On the mountain. I don't see this guy. It probably, yeah, let's take a look. Yeah, so it probably is. It looks like he's holding a thunderbolt. Good eye. It looks like it's kind of Mycenaean in, I can't get lower than this, but we'll check it out. Um, we'll check it out when we get there. It does look like it's Mycenaean, or from the Bronze Age, in the way that the statue's made, statue's molded. Oh God, I can't walk straight without my mouse. Shouldn't even tried. So this is what looks like to be another. So, yeah, so this actually could be a tomb or a crypt for a rich family. Here is some Greek. I wish I could read it. Um, let's see. I'm going to start with that first word, diakamenos. Um, metha, me, methamera, I think. I don't know where Vigelis is. It is like 4:30 his time though, a.m. So I understand him not being on this, especially since he learns about this in school. Right? Lucky bastard. I wonder if he gets like how much of Greek history he gets, because honestly, like if you're not America, you have thousands of years to cover, and even in America, it feels rushed. Like we've got 250 years. I mean, honestly, 500 since Columbus, but I cannot imagine, like, are they doing like 1300s Greek history under the Crusader kingdom? So here's, it looks like more the commercial district of Megara. Sorry, I have the hiccups, which is unhelpful. I mean, American history sucks because we get it over and over and over and over again. I'm sure that whatever history you get like beaten into you from a young age is gonna suck. Like I've definitely relearned an appreciation. Look at all these tanned hides. I've relearned an appreciation for America, but it's come because of America in a global context. We learned about America as completely separate from the world, and we don't get to compare it. And so America's like super strange and freaking crazy. Uh, like we really came out of nowhere, but we don't get that, right? We are always taught American exceptionalism and like we're amazing and blah 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 blah. We're the only one out there, and that's not helpful because then all you know is America, and it's boring. The Megarian banner, the head of a boar on the right, from the reverse of a stater. Here's a bird. The region of Megaris is the link between central Greece and the Peloponnese, located on the Isthmus of Corinth. The area was well suited for agriculture and animal husbandry. The name of the city derived from Megarizin, the appellation of a ritual in honor of Demeter and Kore, where piglets and other offerings were thrown into ground cavities. Megara. Weird. Okay, so they were named. Megara took the name of the cave that you throw piglets into. Love that. Oh my god. Pigs and boars were often depicted on coins, and one coin of Litos in Crete was chosen as the model for the banner. Pigs served as both food and sacrifices, but on some occasions they were used in war. When, oh, I'm so excited. When Megara was besieged by the Macedonian king Antigonus Gonatos, the Megarians sent burning pigs to defeat the elephants. Heck yes. Yeah, that's my favorite. So the Macedonian king, I want to know what year this is that he had elephants, because that's definitely post Alexander. But yeah, the way to defeat elephants is often through sending burning animals at them. I've heard. So yeah, you cover pigs in tar, and like straw, and then you set them on fire, and they run screaming, obviously, into the enemy lines. And it's like, to the smell of bacon, I mean, it's got to be horrible. Let's see, where's this path I'm looking for? Okay. So this area that I'm at right now, it's fitting that it is in. Gotta dismount, go under. Um, and so the whole tanning process is one of the more chemical and in like industrial intensive processes that could happen or that was done in the ancient world. So this place, it of course, it's going to be. This is very accurate. It's going to be outside of the city walls. It's disgusting. It's also going to be next to a river, so that all the effluvium and grossness can just be thrown into the water, which is going to pollute it pretty terribly, but probably not as bad as we pollute our not as terribly as we pollute our own rivers today. But we don't need to get into this. So let's follow this road, and we're going to first make our way up to this, seems like Bronze Age Temple of Zeus before, actually, that might be the only thing left in Megaris. But there are a few, Grave of Sisyphus, that's cool. Then we'll make our way to the western edge of the Isthmus of Corinth. And we'll see, it looks like we actually, hey, I thought you were supposed to be following the road. Um, whatever. We'll do some rock climbing right now. We actually might not get to Corinth today, which would be unfortunate. I was really hoping so. At the very least, we will make our way to there if we don't do a whole tour of it. We will have to see the Shrine of Aphrodite though, some point. So this looks like Zeus Ephesus. Yep. Ancient temple up above the city of Megara. It is interesting how even though the land is so limited in Greece, they still, like, there were still places that were abandoned, and new places resettled. So after the dark ages of like 1200 to 900 approximately, there were some places that were completely abandoned, even though there's so little space. A bandit banner. Okay. So this is head of Ketos. I don't know who Ketos is, but this is from the time that we're talking. Halicarnassus is in Asia Minor. The banner is inspired by the coins from Halicarnassus. Bandits and pirates have been associated with Ketos, a sea monster associated with Poseidon, which is often depicted on their coins from 500 to 495. Halicarnassus at this time, I believe, was in open rebellion. This is the time of the Ionian revolt against Persia. So this would be their free coinage. Bandits and piracy were a harsh reality in antiquity, so much so that it wasn't unheard of to be killed or enslaved by them. Aketos looks like a serpent fish with a dragon head. When he needs to send punishment, Poseidon would unleash Aketos. He sent one to Troy to punish King Laomedon, and sent another to attack Ethiopia to punish King Cepheus and Queen Cassiopeia. However, the latter, Ketos, was killed by Perseus when he rescued Andromeda. If you remind me in class tomorrow, I'll show you. I'm not sure if it's. I don't think it's King Laomedon, right? Because the king of Troy. Well, this is from Priam. This might be at some other time. But he did send sea serpents to kill Laocoon, and there's a really cool statue of Laocoon like wrestling with snakes. No, the Greeks did not have ownership over Ethiopia. Um, they just mean against the Ethiopian king. So let's see. We're next going to go here. All right, so we're going to go to the Isthmus of Poseidon. Let's call our horse, our trusty horse, and make our way west. So they say that Megara is perfect for agriculture. It doesn't, I mean, it seems pretty damn rocky. Now we are entering Corinth proper, or I shouldn't say Corinth proper, but the region of Corinth. This looks to be potentially a hunting camp, also potentially owned by the Delian League, which is surprising. I wouldn't expect there to be an Athenian camp between Megara and Corinth. The Isthmus of Corinth seemed to be pretty locked down by the Peloponnesian League during the wars. I cannot believe that Athens gave up Megara though. So here we have what I think is well, maybe it's Etiocles. This 7-kilometer paved ramp had a track, so boats could cross the Isthmus of Corinth without having to go around the Peloponnesus. It was used by both military and commercial boats. Okay, so here this is firmly in Corinth's sphere of influence. I guess they didn't really have room in this map to show the western side of Megara. Um, Although, yeah, maybe I'm wrong, and it's actually here. Yep, this is totally my bad. So, um, instead of we're gonna go back to Megara, and we're gonna travel northwest through the Megarid. So we're gonna stay firmly in the region of Megara this time. I do apologize. Glue factory. Uh-oh. They. Oh, I missed that. So, but it was probably something about melting down horses into glue. I don't know why. So let's just take a look at Megara once again. I don't know why I have it in my mind that horses were made into glue so early. I think that like shows up in Charlotte's Web, but I learned very early on that random fact, and it always like kind of bugged me. I think they turn their hooves into glue. Oh, really? Pass underground to trap horse legs. Cool. So we talked about that with um, the Thessalians and the Phocians. Uh, right before the Persian invasion, the Phocian, well, not right before, but the Phocians and the Thessalians had been enemies. And what we are talking about right now are the people who live here in Phocis, and then the Thessalians live north of them. They had been antagonistic toward each other for a long time, and one of the stories was that the Thessalians, who are famous for their cavalry, came in to invade, and the Phocians had dug a big trench, filled it with wine casks, and uh, with covered it with dirt. And then when the horses rode over it, they all broke their legs. So good eye, yippee skippy. All right, come on, horse. I know that you can ride. You can run faster than me. So let's follow this road. And here, this is firmly in Megara. So I went around the mountains, but here this does make sense. So this is a lot more um, open to. Ooh, this is cool. Let's go up here. Um, this is a lot more open. Ruined Temple of Apollo. Let's climb all over this. So once again, we have another ruined temple in the Megarid. I wonder who ruined it, or if it's just that Megara is one of the more ancient cities and has been inhabited for so long that these temples could fall into disrepair. And then during the time that Apollo was still worshipped. I think that's what's so interesting. Like it's totally normal for temples to fall into disrepair when the pantheon stops being worshipped, but it's surprising that there'd be a ruined temple to Apollo when Apollo is still worshipped. Okay, so here we are in a Spartan camp. One thing that kind of bugs me is that they don't show me all the points of uh, interest. Like, you know, here are ruined temple of Apollo, but we missed the Persian cliff. He attempted to kill the Megarians. Okay, interesting. The farm of Tripodiscos was born. Yeah, all of these interesting things that I guess I just have to discover on my own. So these are the first Spartan triremes we've seen evidence of. This is pretty cool. So so we've got the lambda shields, and we've got, I think this symbol is like a Phocian one, I think. But what is over here? Panormos. What is Panormos? Are they really triremes? I believe so. They are ships of war. They have beaks on them. Here's a pig rolling in the mud, having too good of a time. There, there is. Okay, so let's go to the panorama in Panormos. Check out the beach. So what I haven't seen from the triremes in this game so far are the outriggers. I do believe that the top row of oars was actually like up top in the open, at least on some versions that I've seen. But here's the beach, beautiful view, and let's let's take a swim. So let's see how fast we go. This is pretty cool. We got quite a lot of undersea life. Um, Luckily, armor in this game is essentially a scuba tank. And instead of weighing us down and drowning us, we're just going. Pagae held a strategic importance during the Persian War and played a pivotal role during the Peloponnesian War. Yeah, so Pagae is the westernmost uh, port of Megara. Let's see, can I? How do I surface? I don't know. Nope, that's the wrong way. That's also the wrong way. Stop flashing me. No, 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 no. Come on. Up, up. Nope. Oh boy. Well, we're never getting out of here, unfortunately. Yeah. So triremes would have outriggers up top. So they typically, I think, typically had only two banks of oars um, built into them, and then they had the third bank was up top. Okay. Whew. So let's check these out. So these blue, I think, are Athenian ships. Can we dive? It does look. I know. I could see there being. I don't know. It does. I can clearly see one. I'm not sure if there are two though. Um, and then there's the third would be perched up top. So here's another port. We've got these. We've got a crane with stone in it. This is where they're going to be able to load and unload. I do love the cranes in this game. This looks to be potentially a dry dock. No, this is just a warehouse, storehouse. It's amazing how Amazon warehouses are just the most modern iteration of ancient logistics, or logistics going back a very long time. Um, so here, these are merchant ships. This is a Spartan guard. Maybe I'll change into Spartan wear now that I'm firmly in the Peloponnesian camp. Spartan war hero. Brasidas, do I have just like a regular Spartan soldier? Doesn't look like it. Archidamus is a Spartan king, but looks, this is pretty good. I'm digging it, and they're not going to suspect me of being a spy. My greatest fear is being interrogated in this game. They ask me all these history questions. Yeah. So dry docks are where it's where they pull the boats fully out of the water. So this is where Moonmackerel's entirely right. That this is where they're going to make those repairs to boats that can't be done when they're in the water. So triremes are going to, because they are moving so quickly. Fort Garanea, or Crane Hill, is named for the flock of cranes that showed Megaris the way to its peak to escape a flood. Okay, so this is where maybe there's a flood myth in uh, Greek history as well. We got some food supplies. But triremes, yeah, they needed a lot of maintenance. Typically once a year, they were going to have to be pulled out completely and have their hulls redone. They sometimes had bronze clipping or bronze trimming over it to try to reduce the rot, but that was going to be very, very expensive. All right, so here we are, and is Corinth? We want to go south now, so let's make our way to Corinth. We're doing a little overland travel. I do apologize. Yeah, we saw the dry docks in Athens were quite remarkable in the Piraeus. So we're really getting into some end game content here. Like we don't have we have a number of tours left, so don't worry. But we're also getting to the more off the beaten path. Corinth is not, if you see, Corinth is a major city. It is the third most powerful city in all of Greece, but it's not going to be. It's not actually super well described in this game. In fact, what I might do is I might switch from this game. So we're closing in on the hour mark. So I might get to Corinth and park ourselves there, and then I might just open up the. Okay, you've got to go home. You've got to go to dinner. I I should have dinner. I just had one of those Amy's burritos after school. Sorry, Amy's burgers. God, if it was an Amy's burrito, that would be terrible. Um, so maybe I won't. But for those people who want to stick around, I might do a little optional thing. I mean, obviously this is all optional. Um, but the I'm starting to play another game. This is what I'm getting really hyped to do after spring break, is this Total War game. We've seen a couple battles there, but I got this amazing mod that turns it into a really accurate, like pretty accurate depiction of the Peloponnesian War. And in that game, I've just started a campaign as Corinth to see how it goes. I'm likely going to. Hey, wait a minute. Why am I back in Megara? What's going on here? No, no, no. I'm supposed to be going south. Oh God, what's happening? Am I going south? I'm going south, right? This. I might just have to swim to Corinth. No, no, come on, come on. Oh boy. Okay, here we go. Yeah. So the other game is a Total War game, a Total War mod that creates a pretty accurate description. Here we go. Back in Corinth, of the Peloponnesian War. And there's like really cool aspects of it, and we'll get into it. But let's, yeah, I'll show it in more depth in a minute or so. I just want to get to Corinth first. Here looks to be Etiocles West Ramp. Okay, so this is where we were beforehand. I'm surprised that this isn't a full-on depiction or a full-on like point of interest, because this is how they brought ships across the entire Isthmus of Corinth. And one thing I'm thinking is that, so I'm going to be playing Corinth in our simulation of the Peloponnesian War, but Megara can absolutely be captured. I know Jimmy's already thinking about trying to take it by hook or by crook, and so if you capture it, I think I'll allow you to take it, but it is going to be fought over. It can't be someone's main polis, because it is an incredibly strategic location. Ooh, this is cool. Okay, so this looks like we're dyeing things. Or is this turmeric? Or like, what is going on here? Oh, you're on the other side of the wall? Okay. Well, this is sweet. Oh, don't. Well, that would be one great way of. Let's see. I wonder what this is. This is really interesting to me, and they have no description of what's going on here. I imagine it's dye. It could be brine, but like it looks like it's coming from. It is everywhere. Whoa. Is there really no point of interest? They're gonna tell me what the heck is going on? Truly? That seems crazy. Look, this is even on the map. They painted the map orange. Tell me. I'm so curious. It looks like it could be like cinnabar, maybe. I don't even know what cinnabar is. This is very cool. I'm really loving this. Clay. It's not a bad guess, but I don't think that would explain why it is so. I mean, first off, it's sticking up like that, and it is just vibrant. Right? Clay is often, it's going to be more brown. I don't think they would color it like this. I mean, there are definitely different colors of clay. And it does look, aside from the color, it looks like clay. I think that's honestly like a pretty good guess. They're putting it into squares, right? They're using the same blocks that people would use. That said, if they're making bricks, I would imagine, unless they're sun baking them, you could look it up. Unless there's like, yeah, look up clay or look up, yeah, maybe cinnabar. But I would imagine a kiln, right? Or at least maybe they're sun baking them. Oh, this might be the answer, right? If this is what I think it is, ask and ye shall receive. This could be, yeah, I'm actually, moon mackerel, my goodness, I think you are actually right. That this is clay. That you've got straw, which will prevent it from sticking to the wood underneath, but also they would often put straw into clay to make it stronger and to give it some fibrous structure. And it looks like they're just sunbaking them. That doesn't explain the color, but that's, yeah, I think that's the best thing I'm gonna come up with. Um, Here is another, it's some sort of statue, but nothing much to go off of. Okay, let's enter Corinth and then switch games. So we've got that river providing a moat. We can see here's a cemetery. We can see this pretty cool banner of Corinth. It's a Pegasus, really. And it's shocking to me that I don't know the emblem of the third most powerful city-state. It shows you that I feel like I know a decent amount of Greek history. And, we're studying such a small time period, and yet there's so much that we still don't know. That I still don't know, that, just doesn't come up. Here's a pottery trader. So this, more use of clay, a lot of amphorae. So this is kind of like the keramikos of Athens that we saw way long ago. I don't know why I'm in first person. Here is a guy hand spinning a potter's wheel. Good for him. Whew, that's got to be exhausting. Let's see, what else do we have? So there are going to be 7 points of interest in this city, including a tour, which is going to be very cool. Let's hit up this first one, and then we will exit. I do want to just get started. I wonder what these refuse areas are. If these are like storage facilities, right? If you've and you're just able, because the amphorae were strong enough, you just kind of toss them haphazardly. Look at all these. There's so much storage. An excellent depiction of ancient life. Things that we never think about, or that I never think about, of how much it mimics real life. The port of Lechaon, and how much stuff they have, though nowhere near the amount of stuff that we have. The port. Oh shoot! Why did I pressed E instinctively to uh, like learn more, and instead that just closed it. So, will you tell me? Will you tell me that again? Sometimes they'll make the same thing pop up again and again and again, and sometimes they won't tell me what I want to know. Anyway, whatever. We're in the port of Lechaon, and this is probably the point of interest it's going to tell us. The Monger's Warehouse. Okay, this is just going to tell us about a merchant boat. To produce our merchant boat, we were really pleased to be able to use as reference the remains of the very well-preserved Kyrenia ship found in 1965. Yeah, so I think this was found in the Black Sea. Having this boat replicated with the highest historic fidelity helped us to give life to our beautiful world and to show that there was not only warships sailing in the great ancient Greek Sea. So this is what it looks. Rounder, right? It's not going to need to travel as fast. You're not going to need to row. They're not going to row because that's going to be really expensive to employ them. You're not going to need to row fast to like smash into something. It's going to be mostly sail powered. And it's going to be rounder so that you can store more things in the bottom. So this is the port Lechaon, the main port of Corinth, and Corinth is the third most powerful state in Greece because it's such a trading powerhouse. They were, before Athens came onto the scene in the late 500s, they were by far the most powerful trading polis in the Greek world. The port of Lechaon was artificially made in the time of Periander. So Periander is the oligarch of Corinth in the 6th century, and he's one of the 7 sages, 7 wisest people. The city was connected to the port by the long walls and to the port of Kekres by the Etiocles trackway. Thank you so much for that piece of information. So, yeah, so in reality, it's going to be further away. Here are the long walls that connect them to the city. How'd you get it from the game? How did you pull that out? Here is I know, but like, how did you copy it? How did you transcribe it so quickly? I didn't even have time to look at it. I guess I was too busy talking instead of reading it. Cool. Well, that was awesome. Thank you. Great notes. Um, so red and pink are going to be Corinth's colors, and at this point, let's save and let's do a quick little overview of um, Hellenica. So let me change game, Total War, Rome 2. Uh, all right, let's pop up Steam. Yeah, so I'm playing as Corinth, and I'll go over the strategy that or the long-term grand strategy, I guess, that I'm gonna have here. So Athens is really powerful in the Aegean, and honestly, at this point, Athens is quite powerful uh, in the. Let's make sure that it's going to be full screen application. Let's see if we can get this. All right, Rome, let's go. Am I going to be playing historically? I'm going to try. Well, I'm going to be play. I'm going to be informed historically. So it's 431, the winter of 431 BC. This is further out than we have been in our class, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this. But Corinth has this area up here of Ambracia, Anactorio, and Corinth has a trading uh, relationship and kind of empire all the way up the coast of the Adriatic. I don't think the game goes up here, unfortunately. Um, the Yeah, it could totally screw me over, and I might think I'm being brilliant, but I might not. Here's now Pactus. We saw this in class on Monday. This is where all the helots were settled by Athens. This is a real stick in my craw as Corinth. I can't actually get ships between this area. Um, Athens has completely bottled me up. So my first order of business is going to be to attack this with ships. I'm going to send an army down from this area of Anactorio. Um, let's see, these guys are not mine. I'm going to send soldiers down to take Naupactus by land, and then send this fleet. I'm going to start increasing this fleet over here. And I have this relatively large army down in Corinth. However, this is my home army, and Argos just declared war on me. Argos is, of course, the historical enemy of Sparta. Over here, we have, this is where Megara would be. Unfortunately, this is devastating. This is maybe my biggest problem with the game thus far, is that there's no Megara, right? Megara would perfectly fit right here, right? Build the long walls on the road from Athens between Corinth, and instead, Corinth is more connected to Milos, which is far over here, Mantinea, and Argos. Argos, I'm never going to be able to take over, at least historically not, because Argos is incredibly powerful. It's not. It's pretty close to a rival with Corinth. Thebes is my ally, and then we have the Delian League. So I wonder if we zoom out, we can actually get a pretty good. Let's see. What's a faction? Political parties. That's not faction ownership. Diplomatic status. Yeah, this is going to be it. So red are going to be my enemies. This is going to be the Athenian Empire. Corcyra is the largest, or the third largest naval power. This is a little spoiler alert. Welcome back, Shayla. So Corcyra is up here. This is a neutral party at the time of the 30 Years' Peace. However, it's got a huge navy, and when Corinth starts to Corinth and Corcyra start to bully each other. Does this sound familiar? Corinth is constantly bullying other trading powers. Corcyra comes to Athens and says, "Hey, we want to join the Delian League." And Corinth is like, "Hell no! You belong. You defer to us. You were a colony of ours." Um, Blah blah blah. And Athens wants to stay out of it, but Corcyra basically says either A, we join you and we take the third biggest navy and join it to yours against Corinth, or we ourselves are taken over by Corinth and the third biggest navy goes to them, and now they are as powerful as you. And Athens makes makes the defensive move to join Corcyra's side. But we'll get into all of this much later on, so don't worry about this. Let's get out of here. So let's play a turn or two of this game. You guys will see how this works. So I've got 4,400 gold here. This is going to be my income next turn. It's not very much. Here's my spy. Can I move? I can't move my spy, but eventually I'm going to start moving my spy to Naupactus. I've got research to make, and then over here on Octorio, this fleet got absolutely wrecked. I'm really, as you've seen before in the stream, I am terrible at the naval battles. And it looks like this is, oh god, there's only 2 people who survived the naval battle that I played at the end of yesterday's game. So I'm going to recruit some units. Oh man, that is not, you know what, I really should. But one thing is, this game is quite difficult and quite realistic, so I'm going to need to make some more money. The champions of Amphitrite are going to be the naval force I use, but at this point, I'm going to garrison them. I'm going to station them on the dry docks. Why cannot they? I don't think they can occupy this when. Yeah, if I could station them in. I wonder if I can even. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna police this area to get rid of the piracy in the Gulf of Corinth, but again, I can't go past Naupactus, so I really need to take care of that. So let's do some diplomacy. Who owns Thermon, Koinon, Aetolan? So this is the Aetolian League that we have seen. Koinon, Aetolan, they don't like me. So I'm gonna ask for military access.
We are civilized if you wish, and we will give you an honest answer.
Which means that I'm just going to walk through them and they're going to get pissed. But
my people...
whatever, I'm Corinth, I don't care. So I'm going to start building up this army over here. The Hecaton Heres, which means that 100-handed ones. In 5 turns, I'm going to have a relatively decent army. And at that point, I'll probably march down and attack them from land while I use this fleet from the sea. Anyway, are there any buildings I can make? No. And I do have a decent amount of money, but I have a very low income. And that's probably because it's the winter. So, my income is definitely going to decrease in the winter. It is kind of similar to to Ukraine trying to join the EU. It's a neutral power deciding between 2 forces. It going over to either side is going to tip a balance of power, right? If Ukraine joined the EU or joined NATO, it's going to be a real problem for Russia right next to it in its border. And this isn't right in the border, but it is a shift in the balance of military power. Funny people, not funny, haha, funny wrong. Okay, so he distrusts outsiders. He gets authority, which is going to help him politically, makes military buildings cheaper, but he's not good for trade. Let's see, who is this guy? So this guy is not good for trade, but he is quickly becoming a political man. So if we look in the politics, we've got this guy Pisistratus, who's both the name of the Athenian tyrant, but this guy is Corinthian. We have our political summary. We're becoming ever more powerful. I am the conservative party. Is there anything I can do with let's see, they have 34 senators. I need to learn how to do the politics much better. Um, he's positive loyalty. The Tyrannic Party is not loyal at all. Yikes. Their leader may have died in battle. I may have sent him to his death. Um, and the Populist Party. So these guys are more democratic. We are currently kind of an oligarchic party, the Conservatives. And we're definitely dominating right now. The Populist Party is the second biggest. Their leader is Aristeos, and I might try to get some favor with him. So seek spouse, secure promotion. Let's see. I think we want more loyalty from him. And I wonder where is he? Track. Yeah, we want this thing. We'll get him a promotion. He's going to become a little more powerful, but he's also going to become loyal. So where's he? Oh boy. So this guy's actually probably going to die soon. He is. They're on a mission. Oh my God, it's the winter too. I'm trespassing in Macedon. Oh dear. Do I care? Macedon likes me. Okay, I do actually care. I want to go into Thessaly. So let's see if I can get this.
In a spirit of
I'm in big trouble. Well, hopefully I just need to cross the line. I really shouldn't have. But I'm going to also hire mercenaries, and then I'm going to start ravaging Thessaly, because I don't like Thessaly, and then I'm going to make my way over here. Very likely, this group of people is going to die, and then the Populist Party is also going to get pissed that I killed their leader, but whatever. It's basically one way of me stamping out rivals to my leadership of Corinth. In the meantime, I have some money, but I'm going to bank it up for war. I'm not going to war just yet. These guys, let's see, can I change? I can't change just yet. It is now spring of 431. And so when I do this for real, I'm thinking that I'm going to be reading Thucydides out loud. So because this game goes year by year, I'm going to be able to go year by year in Thucydides at the same time. I think that would be cool. What do you guys think? Is that going to be boring? Because I don't think I'm going to be able to narrate this game super convincingly. It's going to be, I don't know, maybe I can. But this is a completely different game that doesn't give nearly the amount of history that. Okay, let's see. We're gonna go towards now practice. Incite unrest. Yeah. So she is going by land, and so by the time she gets there, I want to have a full army that can march in. So these guys I might not be able to bring my cavalry. We'll see. Let's end this turn, and then when we pick back up, we're gonna start raiding Thessaly. So this is Athens. That was around the Chalcidice set of peninsulae. As you can see, Athens has a ton of navies. I'm really kind of concerned. So my thought is that I'm going to play Athens, but that's going to be really hard. Athens is my zone of comfort. I might do Sparta. What I've done, so this is a new mod that ups the realism by an incredible degree. In the non-modded version of this, Athens often falls within like the first couple turns, which is so ridiculous. So that's why I was going to play as Athens to prevent that. But now with this mod, I might play as Sparta. But honestly, we could take a vote in class and see what's going to happen. So there's an outbreak of plague. Really not what I want to have happen. The Demos Assembly. Okay, awesome. So this, I've now researched the Demos Assembly, which means that I bring a lot of people together to make decisions about policy. but it also means that I can recruit dignitaries. And dignitaries are going to be really helpful in taxation of my own polis and also of um, they can go into enemy territories and I think incite unrest or create corruption. An allied request. Hermes, god of all trade, also protects thieves. It would surely please him then were you to rob enemy merchants of their ill-gotten gains. Raid a settlement or trade route belonging to the following faction. Argos. Okay.
Yes.
Sure. Raid. Oh, raid. Let's see. I'm just gonna cross over.
Hard on the oars, you men.
And can I raid? Yeah, let's raid.
Burn it!
I've succeeded in the mission. I got 500 bucks, and I get plus 30 diplomacy with Greek factions. Okay, now speaking of raiding, let's go up here. These guys.
We hunger. Make haste, men.
That's trespassing. Koinon Thessalon. Okay. Let's see. Diplomacy. I don't think they like me anyway. Oh, but they're friends with Macedon. They're not friends with my friends here. I'm friends with these guys. They're not. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't raid them. Maybe I'm just going to get them out of here as fast as possible. Yes, I'm trespassing. Sorry, not sorry. I'm going to go as quickly as possible. Is there a way? There's no forced march in this version. That's too bad. So I'm going to make my way to Ambracia as quickly as I can. Consolidate my forces there. These guys are quickly making an army. I might recruit a few more people. So these are all the units I can have. The way that this game works is pretty cool. Is you've got so these guys are going to take from the noble classes because the nobles are the only ones able to afford horses. These are also going to be reserve heavy. I think that means so these are also going to be the nobles, the heaviest hoplites. I don't want any of them. I don't have that many. But since I'm an oligarchy, I do have a decent number of the medium, and maybe even these guys, these hoplites. They all take a lot of turns to recruit. I might get some low level 3. We'll see. I wonder. I can also hire mercenaries, and that's probably what I'll do. I'll hire some mercenaries before I march down on Naupactus. These guys, let's convert them. We're gonna patrol, so we're gonna try to eliminate some pirates. That's gonna help increase our income. Sitting on a lot of money here. We can upgrade our muster field to a Holosideros barracks, but I'm gonna start needing some food. So this is my growth. This determines how soon I can build a new building. So the current growth rate is 0. That's not good. How do I increase growth here? Subtracting food is not going to be doing it. I do not control this entirely. Let's see. Maybe there are some. I definitely want. Okay, so I think I'm gonna. So the balanced diplomacy is going to increase my income from trade, which is going to be very important for Corinth. From wealth. Corinth is very much a wealth-based city, so I'm going to try to play that relatively true to form. These guys, I think I can bring back. I am raiding, so they're making a bit of money. Let's see how much money they're making. So this is my trade tab, my taxes, slave population. I might actually lower my taxes to increase my growth. I wonder if I hope that doesn't affect me too much. Plus 0 growth. Oh, then what the heck am I doing? Well, if it doesn't change the growth, then I don't really care. Other income. I wonder where this other income is coming from. Trade, slaves, taxes, but 6,300. That's a huge amount, and I don't know where that's coming from. But I digress. So,
Commander,
we'll get. They could fortify themselves. I think I'm just going to return to Corinth. When an army is stationed in the capital city, they don't cost upkeep, I'm pretty sure. Alright, go eat dinner. Goodbye, thanks for tuning in. And I may end the stream at this point. I'll probably continue playing this game for the next 30 minutes. Unless there's anyone watching, um, who wants me to keep streaming, please say so in the chat. Otherwise, I'm just going to take this offline. The stream has gone on long enough. Going once, going twice. Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure, and I hope you guys got something out of this. I will see you guys next week. Starting, Sunday at 6, we'll go back to Assassin's Creed, and we will be doing Corinth then, which will be very exciting.